Welcome back to the Pokemon Knoxville Regional Championships for the Pokemon Trading Card Game. It is I, the Ninja Nick 333, your host for better commentary than the Pokemon's official live stream. We have Sammy Allen here on the left with Lugia. Big surprise, when have we not seen Lugia on the stream? And on the right, we have Andrew Mahone playing, as to no surprise because he does not know how to play anything else, Mew VMAX. This man crapped all over Mew VMAX when it was first printed, saying how broken it was and how it shouldn't be a thing, and then proceeds to play it at every single event since it's been released. It's absolutely wild. For some god-awful reason that I do not understand, this man is playing Flying Pikachu VMAX in his deck with a Speed Lightning Energy. I do not know his exact counts on all of his stuff, but my god, what? I don't understand. What is the point of the Flying Pikachu? Make your Lost Box matchup better, I guess? It seems like it's just deader cards. Just play, like, Aerodactyl V-Star, even. Like, I'm not a big fan of playing the Aerodactyl V-Star, but just play that instead. It takes up less deck spaces than putting a Speed Lightning Energy in your deck. Also, if you ever play against Mahone, he's gonna be like, oh, I'm just a guy, bro. Like, he's gonna talk about how cool he is and how he's an internet personality, but you shouldn't be intimidated by him because he's just a guy, bro. Even if you know who he is, and he should know who you are. Like a friend of a friend who played against him at one tournament. Man's head is full of air, I'll tell you. So we do see, looks like Mahone does start off with a Battle VIP pass going first with a Mew V in the active spot. He is going to look through his deck. Hopefully he is able to identify that his Pikachu V is prized. He likely is using that as his way of maybe making the Lugia V-Star matchup better. I honestly could not freaking tell you. What is the point of that card? You have to hard attach to it twice. It's another VMAX. You're already playing VMAXs. I don't know. It's just, I'm so confused. He is on the win and in here. They are both 5-1-2, it looks like. They do need a 6th win to make it into day 2. So we will have to see who goes to 6-1-2 and who goes to 5-2-2. 5-2-2, still a very respectable record in my opinion. I think anything 5-3-1 or above is what I would consider doing good at a tournament. It's just unfortunate that these days 5-3-1 is generally a super large bubble for points, just because of how many people play. So 5-2-2 is like kind of like the bare minimum you have to do now in order to feel good about yourself, which kind of sucks. But anyways, we got a full bench. Because, again, nothing to really say about Mew VMAX here. Mew VMAX does Mew VMAX things. Puts some Pokemon onto the bench with Battle VIP Pass. And we will likely be seeing some Genesect, just drawing some cards in order to set your hand up for the next turn. Again, a little unfortunate he's not playing the Aerodactyl V-Star instead of the Pikachu VMAX. Just because, again, he could have put that onto the bench this turn, and he could potentially have the V-Star attack on the next turn. Looks like Andrew thought he almost drew too many cards, but recounted, and he was fine. Has 3 Mew VMAXs in hand, so he can quick ball one away for what I would say basically no reason. I mean, you can afford to discard one, but I don't see what discarding it for a quick ball to draw 2 more cards this turn really does for you. Unless you're just really looking for a path this turn. But you don't need it this turn, you need it next turn. He's going to draw 2 more cards. We do see, it looks like double turbo, so we'll slap one of those down on the bench to keep it protected in case by some god-awful reason maybe Sammy plays like Drapion and Bird Keepers into it to knock out the active. You don't want that double turbo energy going down that early. So definitely correct to put that to the bench. We are going to see the Evolution Incense is probably going to get a Archeops here for Sammy. We are going to be looking through the deck to make sure we know what is prized as well. Very good that players are doing this more. So, likely going to see that Archeops get discarded with something like a Quick or Ultra Ball. I think we see a Quick Ball in hand, maybe. Well, maybe not. We are shuffling the deck here. That is a very odd shuffle. Okay, that's a little better. Yeah, that other shuffle that he was doing is just cutting the deck. It's like a reverse Yu-Gi-Oh shuffle. Andrew does notice that that was insufficient shuffling and does shuffle his opponent's deck anyway, so... Looks like we are going to discard a bunch of energy cards with that research. I think that you have to do that. Yeah, Andrew does notice the double turbo. So, again, very unfortunate you have to get rid of double turbos that early, but... I mean, out of all of the energies that you would have to discard, I think double turbo is probably the best. Andrew, even actually knowing how the game rules are, says you have to pick one side for both your deck and discard. You can't put them both on opposite sides. Yeah, that is a very odd shot. I don't like that. It's like cut, mash, cut, mash. It like makes the cut unnecessary because you have to essentially take two halves of your deck in order to mash them together anyway. So when you do that like backwards cut thing that he's doing, you're then essentially undoing that to just mash it. I'm always critiquing people shuffling. The mash is good though. The mash is good. But you gotta mash at least 7 times in order for it to be sufficient, and I don't think we saw that. So we do see the double turbo energy come down. Looks like our opponent here, Sammy here, was able to read the wind to draw some extra cards. Not the ideal way to do that. Would prefer to have that Lugia V on the bench, but if you start it, what are you gonna do? Mahone is now thinning his hand even more, so he can potentially draw into Choice Belt or some, what's it called? The Mind's blanking. Power Tablets. It's like, I've already commentated on a couple Mew VMAX games. I don't know why my mind's blanking already on this stuff. We are going to see a Cram-O-Matic is going to get rid of a Switch. Honestly, in my opinion, the best art of Switch, not only is it a Heart Cold Soul Silver card, but it also has Meryl on it. I love Meryl. Meryl is one of my favorite Pokemon. After Greninja, Meryl is probably my favorite. When I was a little kid, I had like this Meryl like pillow thing. It was almost kind of like a Squishmallow, but like thinner and longer. It was like a good sized pillow. And my former stepdad made me throw it out because he said I was too old for it when I was like 12. And while he was technically right, I still would not have thrown it out. I just was not carrying it everywhere with me like I was when I was 6 years old. And it was pretty worn out. It needed new stuffing. But I never forgiven my mom for letting him do that. So my mom has, for her, the rest of her time since like I was in college, has been looking for that same Meryl pillow for me. I did actually see it at, I think it was Gen Con or something in like Troy, New York one time. And I really regret not buying it there because I have not seen it again since. But she did buy me a little tiny Meryl plushie, so I'm happy. He's cute. He's very rotund. Again, Mahone just doing more Mew things. Oh, is there a discrepancy on what he did? Oh, okay. Okay, let's listen in. Let's see where Mahone screwed up. Let's rewind a little bit.
Yeah. He's realizing now.
Like, I can't count.
He picked up the deck, and I think he saw the bottom card.
Right. Oh, he drew, again, drawing one too few cards with Mew V. He even reveals his whole hand.
Okay.
All right, I think it's a quick fix yet again, but it is something to keep in mind. These things do stack up as the games go on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he probably just gets a warning for that, maybe, because he did see the bottom card of his deck, but...
Yeah, making sure everything is okay with the judges. Everybody's caught up to speed here.
So, it looks like he was just supposed to draw one card. It's still the same top deck.
Extra card? This is amazing.
Yeah. So he was able to just draw that extra card that he was already supposed to have drawn. Since it was still the top card of the deck did not get shuffled for Cramomatic yet. It was caught very early. Andrew revealing his entire hand to his opponent, I don't believe was necessary, but it just goes to show that he is a very honest of a person in that way, overly honest. I don't know. Again, I like to call him an airhead, so... I don't know. I think you should conceal that information from your opponent, but you could show it to the judges. I mean, his hand is going to be changing so much over the course of this turn, I don't think it really matters. All you're really telling your opponent is that you have an extra double turbo in hand. You already have 2 in play. I think he attached 1 for this turn already anyway, so it doesn't really matter. We are going to see an Ultra Ball. I still don't know why there's that Pikachu VMAX in that deck. That concerns me greatly. It makes sense in Lugia decks to be playing Pikachu VMAX, because you can actually utilize it in that way. Same with Arceus decks. I think Arc Pika is still a pretty solid deck. Unfortunately, not anything more than maybe tier 2. He's like, I'm drawing 6. Drawing them 1 at a time as well. Now he's just trying to be a comedian. Which is like fine at times, but I think he's a little overly eccentric about it. I like the way, Sam Chen. Sam Chen is kind of funny. He always, when he's deck searching and he's trying to identify his prize cards, he like goes like this when he's like looking through the deck. Which was kind of cute at first, but it's now getting a little old. My thing that I like to do with my opponents is I'm just, whenever I mulligan, I'll have like an evolution Pokemon in my hand, like some sort of Pokemon that I can't start. And I'm like, well, I could start this if you'd let me, right? I'm like, they'd see like Lugia V-Star and I'm like, mulligan, well, unless you want me to start this, then I will. And then they're like, no, no, no. And I'm like, yeah, fair. So just Ultra Balling away some cards. We are using our V-Star power to grab a card. We are playing the Path to the Peak that we just got off of that, and we are using Cross Fusion Strike for Techno Blast to knock out the Lugia V. Uh-oh, now our YouTube is buffering. That is not good. God damn it. Alright, let's go down in quality slightly until it loads. Can we? All right, we're at 8:15:47 here. I want it at 1080. All right, I'm gonna pause this for a second. Hang on, guys. Okay, guys, we're back. Oh, my internet just died, is what happened. And then it came back for half a second, died again, and then came back. So here we are. Good thing there's a pause recording button in OBS, so I won't have to do any editing to put this back together or restart it. So yeah, Mahone does take the 2 prize cards. The Radiant Charizard is put active, and now Sammy is going to need a way to remove the Path to the Peak and get Lugia V-Star into play. Hopefully, I believe he already has the 2 Archeops in discard. We do see a Marnie, so that is pretty good. That will put Mahone to less cards. If he can't remove the Path, then maybe there will at least be less opportunity for Mahone to attack on the next turn. Well, I guess he has another Mew VMAX with a double turbo anyway, so it doesn't really matter what's in Mahone's hand. Also, it's a little weird that the glare on the screen is like circling Charizard. Like, it's just so slightly off. It almost looks like it's circling the ability. It almost looks like it's circling the attack. Just kind of funny. Looks like we are going to Ultra Ball. That may get us to the Pumpkaboo. We do have the Lugia V-Star in play. I do love the look of the gold version of Lugia V-Star. I did pull one from some winnings from a Win-A-Box, along with a full art Lugia. Just unfortunately the regular full art, not the alternate art. I would have loved the alternate art, but we do have one of those gold Lugia V-Stars, and since you only have to play 2, I wouldn't mind like trying to find somebody who has a gold Lugia V-Star and maybe trying to trade 2 of my regular ones for a... Looks like he recognizes that there is no out. Maybe he did prize the Pumpkaboo. I did not really see his prize cards. Yeah, I don't see Pumpkaboo prized, so maybe he's not playing Pumpkaboo and realizes that he just can't win. Maybe he forgot he's not playing Pumpkaboo. It looked like he wasn't. Looks like he didn't have Pumpkaboo in his prize cards, so I don't know where else that would be. Yeah, his prize cards are Evo Incense, Evoltal, Marnie, Powerful Colorless Energy, Ultra Ball, Archeops. So yeah, he definitely doesn't have it prized, so yeah, he just must not be playing Pumpkaboo at all. Interesting. So Mahone is now up 1-0 here in this match, the final win and in of the day, Swiss round 9. We are shuffling up to go into game 2. Still plenty of time for 2 games. We've got 36 minutes left. The first game took 14. So maybe we will see a conclusion to this match if it goes to game 3. Can we skip the shuffling, please? Over shuffling here. Maybe he mulliganed, I don't know. We do see Pumpkaboo though, so what? Oh, maybe he discarded it early and didn't realize. That's the only other the only other thing that I can think of. He looked through his deck, realized his Pumpkaboo was already used. Yeah, see, he does have Pumpkaboo here. He also has the Snorlax, which I like. And nothing too relevant from either side here for prize cards, except for the Pumpkaboo. Pumpkaboo could really come in and really screw with this. Looks like he starts Dunsparce as well, the card that I should have played. I bought that Alt Art Dunsparce so I could play it and then decided to cut it last minute. I should have just played it because it's adorable. Look at that thing. It's like multiple Dunsparce just chilling in someone's apartment. Or bedroom or something. Dorm room. I don't know. So we are using a Capture Energy on this Dunsparce to search our deck for a Lugia V. We are prize checking as well while we are in here, just to make sure that we know what is prize. He's likely looking for that Pumpkaboo immediately, knowing he's against Mew. He will likely need the out to path. Looks like we are also going to use Luminion now, which I do like. You know your opponent is playing Path, so might as well grab a supporter now for if the Path does come into play. You can't play the research yet, but you can certainly play it on the next turn. Again, what is the shuffle? It's like cut, mash, cut, mash. So we do have a V-Star in hand. We also have the Raikou and the Research along with Radiant Charizard, it looks like, as well. So we're just going to have to see if we can get those Archeops into the discard pile on this next turn. And hopefully we don't get pathed. I'm sure Mahone is probably going to be trying to go for a Judge Path turn, since Sammy has so many cards in hand and has shown that he has used the Luminion and has a Research in hand. I think a Judge would be really good for Mahone on this turn. Yep, so the Battle VIP Pass turn 1 for Mew, pretty self-explanatory, is just going to get a couple of Pokemon. Didn't have a Mew, so that is one of the options selected. We are going to get another Genesect, so we can draw some cards. Looks like we are going to Ultra Ball away a Speed, Lightning Energy, and a Judge. I think there must be another Judge in hand, because I can't expect him to not want to play that this turn. Yep, and he plays Judge. So he has mismatching Judge arts, and that bothers me. I always like all my cards to have the exact same art, which is why I refuse to play my gold Lugia V-Star at the moment, because I only have one. They have to match. Actually, having all of your copies of the same card match entirely makes it so it's harder for your opponent to count cards. So you know how counting cards is like illegal in like poker and stuff? Because it like gives you an advantage of knowing what is left in the deck, what can be drawn, what your other players may have in their hands. It's the same thing in Pokemon. If you see that your opponent has 3 different arts of Judge, they know that you're playing 3 different Judge. Like, they know you're playing 3 copies. So you could see Judge in game 1, and it could be the Heart Gold Soul Silver art, and you could see 1 Judge in game 2, and it's the, you know, that art that he just played, whatever it's from. And then you know that your opponent is playing 2 Judge, even though you only saw 1 Judge in each game. Whereas if it was the same art, your opponent isn't sure if you play 1 or more Judges. They know you play at least 1, but they don't have the information that you play at least 2. So again, always make sure all your arts match so that your opponent can't keep track of things like that. I know that there are some people out there that like to play a different art of boss's orders for each copy, and that is why I'm against something like that. Even though I think that that's really cool. There's like 4 different arts of boss's orders or something at this point. And you could play 4 and have them all be different arts. Same with research, but like it's just so unoptimal because that allows your opponent to, again, if you have 4 different arts of research, your opponent can see 2 arts game 1 and 2 different arts game 2, and then know that you're playing 4 instead of something like 3. So we're still digging. Mahone is looking for a probably double cross switcher, I would assume. So long as he's playing that, he might have just cut those to fit the Pikachu in, which would have been insane, but... yeah, off that quick glance, I actually didn't see cross switchers, which is very odd. Cross switcher is like the best card in Mew. I don't know why people are cutting it. It's so weird. I mean, he could have it, though. It was just a quick glance. We are going to Quick Ball, get rid of a Lost Vacuum here as well, just to thin the handout even more, to draw even more with this last Genesect. Mahone does have a very efficient shuffle, I'll give him that. Still shuffling. He has an efficient shuffle, but he still overly shuffles. Alright, draws into that Flying Pikachu VMAX. That's exactly what he needs in this matchup, right? I think he probably thought that Flying Pikachu VMAX was a good call for this tournament, but didn't want to switch off of Mew, so just threw it in. Because Mahone doesn't know how to play anything else but Mew. So that's probably exactly what it is. Yeah, and just passes there. So he didn't have a way to move the Genesect again. I think it's because a lot of people cut cross switchers. Maybe Mahone does not have access to those. We do see the Bird Keeper is going to put Lugia V active. Draw 3 more cards. We do have the Lugia V-Star in hand, but we don't have any way to remove the path without that... ooh, without that, Pumpkaboo. That Pumpkaboo is in your prize cards. Hopefully you checked for that on the previous turn when you searched your deck. So I'm not quite sure if that Bird Keeper was really worth it. I mean, I guess you could read the wind, but... yeah, how do you remove path if Pumpkaboo is prized? Maybe read the wind, hope your opponent can't move again, and draw into the Lost Vacuum, I suppose, is the best way to go about that. Oh, I thought he had the... oh, he was judged. That is correct, so... he should, yeah, he's gonna need to search for a new Lugia V-Star. He no longer has that other one in hand. Again, the really cool gold one. I think the colorless Pokemon look best in gold. Like this and Arceus, both. We're gonna bench Charizard, attach Choice Belt, attach Powerful Colorless Energy, and then pass. Yeesh. Yeah, I don't like any of how that turn went. That did not feel good at all. So we do see some Mew cards coming down, Mew doing Mew things, and just passes. I mean, yeah, that's all you can really do, right? So you'd rather just leave the Lugia V-Star active. So we're going to see if this Marnie can draw into the Lost Vacuum here. The Path to the Peak is shutting down both players from being able to draw more cards. It is shutting off Sammy more than it is Andrew Mahone here, though. We do see the Lost Vacuum. That is the gold art of it. I do see that there. So we are going to be able to Summoning Star this turn should we have enough Archeops in the discard. But that is the other thing, is what is in that discard for Sammy? And Mahone is trying to say that he attached the Powerful Colorless Energy this turn. So that's twice on stream we've seen a player try to call someone on double attaching that didn't. It's just Mahone's turn was so fast that, like, maybe he just forgot. I don't know. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but I mean, it's pretty blatantly obvious if it was on a completely different turn. I think like double attaching is one of the things that I'm really good at picking up on. So if they attach for turn, I just like mark that, like I almost bookmark that memory in my brain. So then if they attach for turn, I'm just like, well, that one was already attached this turn. Specifically, and I like point to it. So Mahone does get Escape Rope, so he can attack this turn. If I were him, I would, because at very worst, you're getting rid of Dunsparce, so that's a prize card. He also does have... Oh, it looks like he's going to play the Lost City. All right, looks like we're going for a knockout on the active then. Yeah, I think I would have Cram-O-Matic'd first to make sure that I got the heads in order to get the switch or whatever that he's looking for before I played down the Lost City. So I think that's a mistake from Mahone there, because if he flipped Tails, now he's in kind of a rough spot here. But Sammy did not replace the stadium. He had the Lost Vacuum to play it on the Path to the Peak, but he left it into play because he knows he does not have the Archeops in play that he needs. Sammy is also one attach of a double turbo away from being able to attack with this Lugia V-Star, which is absolutely hilarious in my opinion. I have said it before in these videos that I have won a game with Lugia against Lost Box without ever putting a Lugia V-Star into play. And that is because I just hard attached 3 powerful colorless energies to a Stoutland, took 4 prizes with it, and then finished the game off with a Radiant Charizard. Sometimes you just get there. So if Sammy can take prize cards without even using Summoning Star, so long as Mahone doesn't just knock out this Lugia V-Star in either this turn or the next turn, you know, you might still get there. So we see another Cram-O-Matic. Cram-O-Matic discarding Cram-O-Matic. Not sure if I agree with that. I think I would have personally gotten rid of the Ultra Ball only because you already have the 2 Mew VMAX in play. But maybe he's just prioritizing having the discard with the Ultra Ball to get rid of cards that he doesn't need, but I don't know. I think I'd rather be able to get potentially a 2 guaranteed cards. Also, he crams for a Forest Seal Stone. That doesn't make any sense at all. Yeah, I do not like the cram for the Forest Seal Stone. Yeah, because you could have just crammed for the switch, played it, and then you would have been in the same position. and then maybe drawn into the Forest Seal Stone. So we do see a big Parasol come down on the Mew on the bench. We do have the Choice Belt on the active so that we can try to reach for the KO on this active Pokemon. The big Parasol being on the bench is also optimal in case that Evital comes out at some point. We are going to see the Pal Pad shuffle back in Serena Boss, so you know that Mahone is going to be chasing down those Lugia Vs in future turns, because he is going to get through this first Lugia V-Star. And Sammy is going to have to re-bench a new Lugia V in order to have access to a Lugia V-Star later in the game to get that Summoning Star off. So Mahone knows that he's going to have to chase down these next Lugias while also taking the knockout on this active Lugia V-Star. So he has 2 Power Tablets and a Choice Belt in play right now. So that is plus 90. So he is doing exactly 280, just enough for a knockout. And he's going to continue drawing more with Genesect just so that he has all of the potential outs that he can. Looks like there is a second Escape Rope, so Mahone is definitely not going to be playing those Cross Switchers, because normally you play like maybe 1 copy of Switch and Escape Rope each, and then you play the 4 Cross Switchers normally. But if he's got Switch and double Escape Rope at minimum, it's very unlikely that he has the Cross Switchers, especially since we haven't seen them, and we are 30 minutes into the match, halfway through game 2 essentially. We are using Oranguru, and I mean that's it. You don't even have a way to get Lugia V in play, and at this point Sammy has lost the game. It is pretty landslide victory for Mahone in the second game. Not being able to get off a single Summoning Star because you never got the Archeops in your discard pile. Had the out to get rid of the Path to the Peak, but again, if you don't draw into the Archeops, that is just the way Lugia falls apart. Oh, and that Lugia had to be Lost Zone because of Lost City, which doesn't really matter, because Lugia doesn't play any ways to recycle Pokemon. Also, fun fact, Lugia, it did win an expanded tournament in Japan in the new standard format the new expanded format with Sword and Scarlet and Violet legal, jeez. And it plays quad double Dragon Energy, quad double Colorless Energy, quad Special Charge, and it's just absolutely ridiculous looking. Only 3 Archeops because they can play multiple Battle Compressors as well. It's just like the ideal way to set up Lugia, and it's kind of crazy. You can fully power up Tag Team GXs in 1 turn with your Archeops. It's just gross. And we are going to see the boss's orders after the Escape Rope. We are going to go for the Luminion so we can take another 2 prize turn. We just need a double Colorless Energy, but since we actually played Escape Rope, we don't need it. We can just still attack with the same Mew VMAX. Just retreat back into it. That what's it called? I'm forgetting the name. Technoblast? Effect has been reset, so. And yeah, I don't know what Sammy can even do. Mahone's at 2 prize cards remaining. He still doesn't have a Lugia V in play. He's going to need to get one of those into play so that he can evolve it. And then get the Archeopses out. So he's still got 1 more turn before he can see. Like, he needs a Lugia V this turn, and then he needs Lugia V-Star next turn if that Lugia V survives. And at this point, Mahone is just... he could take 2 knockouts on literally anything. All he needs to do is be able to move this Genesect V. Take a couple more turns of knockouts, and then wins the game. He has boss's orders even. So even if that Lugia V came down, he would be able to boss that up and potentially knock it out in 1 hit with that Choice Belt. So we just really need a way for Mahone to retreat. It would be nice if he has Echoing Horn as well, but I haven't seen that in his deck yet. He probably had to cut that to make room for the Speed Lightning. God knows why he's playing that still. I just can't. It doesn't make any sense. He does have double turbo in deck, so he can just hard retreat. He is going to play those power tablets potentially to redraw into those. Yeah, he does have to play his hand a little methodically this turn, just because he does have to draw. He has 2 chances out of those maybe 6 cards remaining in deck. So he can play double power tablet, and then he can also play the Lost Vacuum. Yeah, I think you do that as well. He's going to get rid of the Roxanne and the Lost City. Puts them in different orientations in his Lost Zone for some reason. It doesn't make any sense. And he is going to Genesect for 3 cards. 1, 2, and he gets 1. He got both. Yeah, so now he is able to retreat his Genesect into this Mew VMAX, take this knockout here. Save that boss's orders in hand. He also has another double turbo in the prize cards, which is actually hilarious. So Mahone has only seen this one double turbo energy the entire game until just this turn and was not punished for it, which is absolutely asinine. And then Sammy's just like, yep, that's it. You're just going to win on the next turn. And that is game, yep, because Mahone can just attach that other double turbo energy he has in hand to his benched Mew VMAX to retreat naturally, and that is the game. So guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next round is day 2. So we'll see you then. Do not, again, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe, because subscribing makes us happy. It feeds the YouTube algorithm with those likes and whatnot. Makes it so the channel can remonetize at some point in the foreseeable future. And makes it so you could just see more of my stuff. If you are enjoying it, if you got to this point in the video, you might as well just be subscribed, because you already enjoyed this video enough to sit all the way through it. If you didn't sit all the way through it, well, then you're not here to listen to me ramble. So, see you guys next time.